Hello and welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and those who are something else, something in between, to the Satirical News. The news show that bends the truth like people bend their genders. I'm your host, Purposely Offensive Fellow, and today we bring you a story that makes us question whether maybe we've held off natural selection for far too long with the witchcraft known as medicine and science. Our top headline for today reads, Airlines will add new gender options for non-binary passengers. We here at Satirical News expect to find this on a top 10 list later this year for pranks that went too far. The article reads, U.S. airline passengers who don't identify as male or female, frickin' normies, will soon have more gender options to choose when booking tickets. The new gender options to be added include unspecified and undisclosed, which begs the question, why the hell do you even have an option to state your gender in the first place? We speculate that this is essentially the equivalent of handing out participation trophies, so all the special kids can feel like they were acknowledged for doing something. Breathing? I don't know. Seizing the opportunity to jerk themselves off and pat themselves on the back, Airlines for America said in a statement, U.S. airlines value a culture of diversity and inclusion, both in the workplace and for our passengers. We work hard each day to accommodate the needs of all travelers, and will soon be announcing our project to hand out sippy cups and safety blankets to those who look like they might call us mean names on Twitter later. Taking note of the capitulation and commitment to play pretend with the clinically insane, the news is being praised by advocacy groups. In particular, the article mentions a statement from Arlie Christian, a spokesperson for the National Center for Transgender Equality. And no, they don't appear to be aware that transgender describes a transition from one gender to another, indirectly confirming there are but two genders, making them non-inclusive bigots. The statement reads, The Children with Special Needs Society applaud the A4A for adding those gender options that are reflective of the diversity of their passengers. Confused people who think their genitals live in a cartoon world where everything is possible face unnecessary, invasive, and discriminatory scrutiny by airlines, airports, and security services alike. Bewildered and befuddled at the prospect of a checkbox on a piece of paper being equated to some form of oppressive discrimination, we read on. A4A's work is in line with how other states who offer gender-neutral designations on IDs and is an important step to ensuring safe and smooth travel for all passengers, regardless of their gender. Surely the implication of which was to point out the dangers of someone running into the harsh coldness that is reality at some point in their life. We here at Satirical News agree that it would just be too inhumane to expect someone to have to put up with such abuse, and we're left wondering how in the world they ever got through life until now. This limited edition document of the downfall of humanity goes on to further cement the sense of doom that we all feel deep down inside. It continues on with, these additions come as many states are adding more gender options on identification cards and birth certificates, in a never-ending quest to give a huge middle finger to anyone working in the medical industry, making doctors look like complete fools for handing out birth control to little Brucelina, who doesn't want to get pregnant as it might be painful to give birth through her penis. And little Wendolyn, let's not forget about him, who wants Viagra because he can't get his vagina erect. Oh, I bet you think I'm being hyperbolic. Oh, my dear sweet summer child. Just wait until it's your turn when society asks you to hold the beer and watch this. Swear to God, I'm slowly losing my mind. One little bit at a time. But we here on the Satirical News, we're skeptic about the airline's claims of diversity and inclusion. So we sent one of our interns to put them to the test. One who had a rather unique and specific gender identity of his own. Which leads us to the following headline. Passengers terrified as live scorpion crawls out of plane's overhead compartment.
I, for one, am absolutely appalled and disgusted over how they treated poor little Lucas. Clearly those airline businesses have a lot to learn about their bigotry against those who identify as venomous scorpions. Excuse me, I'm extremely emotional about racism and bigotry. Just calm down. Okay, Captain, we can do this.
The article starts out. A huge scorpion was seen crawling out of an overhead luggage compartment on a plane, leaving passengers terrified.
By God, he has a name! He has a name, you specious sons of bitches! And he has feelings. He's a creature of many, many feelings! And you hurt damn near every one of them. Okay, give me a second here. Come on, Captain, you promised you wouldn't cry. Okay, we got this, okay?
The hate continues on with dehumanizing language, saying people spotted the creature when the plane landed and people went to go for their luggage. A woman, who's probably just a racist, opened the locker when poor little Jim just tried to get out so he could finally get some air. You see, they didn't even let him have a seat. I bet if he was black, you bastards would have made him sit in the back of the bus too, wouldn't you? Wouldn't ya? Racist ass, crack ass bunch of mother... A crew member rushed over from the sudden outburst of intolerance and hate to see what was the matter. Luckily, though, little Paul fled from the angry mob back into safety. The article goes on, but quite frankly, I'm sick to my stomach, and I think we've had about all of this that we can handle. I believe we'll just leave you with this picture of our distressed intern. You can see the fear and confusion in his face. Thankfully, we were able to retrieve little Johnny before they caught him, and a full lynching broke out. Truly, we live in a disgusting world that can't hold to their own standards. Diversity and inclusion indeed. Truly, the world is in a sad state of affairs right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and Bob the Scorpion, I certainly hope that you did enjoy this episode of the Satirical News, and that you've learned a valuable lesson. Playing pretend is all well and good, but if you demand others participate, don't be surprised when shit gets real. Stay safe out there, watch out for the bigots, and I'll see you next time. Well, I certainly do hope that I've either entertained or offended you sufficiently for today, but if not, I guess I could leave you with a couple more words. Right then, so... For those of you out there who do, you cry, you whine, and you moan because you want your special little checkbox on all the little things, because you have if you have a special little gender that you've made up for yourself, I believe that you need to hear this, and it may hurt, but I think you need to hear this, okay? There's a time to grow up and stop being a child. A time to stop trying to seek out validation from everyone and every little thing. Because if you don't, and you do continue trying to push these small little changes here and there, you're going to eventually end up blurring the lines on the more serious issues. Seriously, okay, think about this. What happens if you end up going to the hospital, passed out with your gut all bloated and shit, and they see your ID and it says that you're a female? They may think that you're pregnant and miss the fact that maybe you have a massive gut obstruction and you could die. Or maybe the opposite. The doctors know that the legal documents that you have on you specifying your gender could be false, and they waste precious time doing tests to rule out gender-specific complications. I know, that's a bit extreme, but I think you get my position on the matter there. I mean, seriously, stuff happens in life and it can happen quick. You may not have time to sit down with the doctor and play the pronoun game and have him jump through hoops trying to guess exactly what the hell you are so that, he has all the information he needs. If you do have mental health problems and you feel like you are, you're not the gender that you were born into, then fine, seek out help. Do what you gotta do to get to a place where you can function. But it is not okay to do that at the expense of everyone else. Especially if you're making up shit based on your feelings. Okay, well, when a form asks you for your gender, it's probably asking for a reason. It's not to make sure that you get to feel super special and included because there's a neat little tab just for you and your imagined weirdness. I'm sure I'll probably get, but Captain, it's just a checkbox, it's not hurting anyone. And I think that you're wrong. I think it's cheapening the authenticity of what's supposed to be factual information. I don't think it's going to hurt anything other than your feelings, perhaps, to check off either male or female on a piece of paper. Oh, but Captain, I'm not either of those. I'm a special kind of stupid. Well, maybe you are. I actually intended to try to cut down on the parts where I ramble at the end of these videos. I think I failed. So I'll just say thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. And until then, remember, keep fighting stupidity wherever you may find it. Have a good one.